Hello guys, welcome back to Raya Reviews, and today I'm going to be reviewing the newest album, the comeback record if you will, from singer, songwriter, pianist Sara Bareilles. Now, I have been a fan of Sara Bareilles ever since I was 12. She was one of the first musical acts I was into with her album, The Blessed Unrest back then, which was relatively new back then, and I have a ton of nostalgia for that record, as well as her previous record, Kaleidoscope Heart, which might be my favorite album by her to date. I always loved her unique piano sound and production, and her voice is fantastic, and nowadays, looking back, I can really appreciate her wordplay and rhyme schemes even more. She's really got a knack for it. She always has, in my opinion. Now, I would say Little Voice, her first outing, is an album I really underestimated, underappreciated back in the day. I don't really think I was old enough to get it the same way, but, looking back, I think it's really solid. Blessed Unrest was her poppiest record, and, honestly, it might be her weakest record. Now, when I say that, I'm talking about the way the album opens with Brave, and I think that song is kind of too mainstream. Now, you got some nice dance cuts like Cassiopeia and Little Back Dress with some nice horns, and I really do like the Blessed Unrest. The two closing tracks on that album are Islands and December. Those two songs, I don't think much of anything in her discography can beat those two songs. I love those two songs so much, but the rest of the album may be her weakest. Although there's some great songs on Kaleidoscope Heart, I would say that's probably her best record. Anyway, this new album is called Admist to Chaos, and, she was teasing this for a while, kind of like, oh, maybe I'm working on an album, maybe I'm not. Now, she did do the Waitress soundtrack in 2015, but this is her first real album in 6 years, and I didn't know if we were going to get another Sara Bareilles album. I felt like she was just pursuing theater, and I wasn't seeing her. I'm like, she can do Broadway. She's good at it, but do I really want her to be? She fits right into the pop world so well, and she's so much more talented than somebody like Katy Perry off the bat. When I heard Sara Bareilles was actually releasing a new album, I was skeptical at first, but then she released Armor, which was her first single in a long time, and I will say that it's a good song. It's one of her trademark kind of piano hard-hitting songs. It's got a bit of sass and anger to it. I really like the attitude in the song. It was inspired by the Women's March, and when I heard that song, I was really excited. I was hoping that would be a tease for some sort of album, and that she wouldn't release too many singles. So I did listen to and react to the follow-up single Fire, which actually opens this album, and I heard that song, and I really liked it. I still really like it. I love the backup humming vocals on the song, and I like the sentiment. It's definitely interesting about a dying relationship as opposed to Armor, which is inspired by the Women's March. Very different subject matter for the song. And those were the only two singles I heard. I think she released a couple more, maybe, but I didn't listen to them. I decided to wait until the album came out. Now, I really love these two songs as well, but sandwiched between them at the beginning of the record is No Such Thing, which might be my favorite song here. It's a great piano ballad. There's showcases some great vocals, some vulnerability in her voice, and I absolutely love this song. It really reminds me of some of her older ballads. Between the Lines comes to mind, and yeah, I really love this song. It's really good. And then after Armor, we get If I Can't Have You, which is a nice little soulful type song. Kind of reminds me of some of her songs maybe in the Kaleidoscope Heart era. Got some nice piano on it, and definitely got that vibe to it. We have Eyes on You, which is actually a really deep, I would say, song. There's a lot of lyrics. I really love the melody. I love the lyrics to this song. Everything works really well here. And then we go into another ballad. We have another couple ballads on this album, which are kind of slower paced and maybe not quite as interesting. They're still nice to listen to. We have Miss Simone, and Orpheus is a good one for sure. Someone Who Loves Me. Now, the other cut I really want to talk about is Wicked Love, which has some of her trademark kind of piano. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Hercules on The Blessed Unrest, the instrumentation in it. And again, the vocals are stellar, the wordplay is fantastic. Everything about this kind of kicks off the second half of the album. I do like Miss Simone and especially Orpheus, but there's some of the weaker cuts here. Now, another song I really want to talk about is Poetry by Dead Men. That's the song. It's an interesting title, but kind of talking about this relationship or that she wanted with this guy, and she wanted him to read her poetry by dead men that can kind of represent the relationship as well. And I really like the melody on this track and the vocals and everything going on here. It's really enjoyable to listen to. And we can't forget Saint Honesty, Bareilles' personal favorite track on this album. I love this track. I love the lyrics, talking about having the rain pouring down and all this stuff. It's really well written, of course, like it always is. She's a fantastic singer. And the album actually closes with a duet with John Legend, which, honestly, thinking about it, they seem like the perfect combination. I don't remember if they've collaborated before or not. I'm trying to remember who she collaborated with on the Waitress soundtrack, if she collaborated with him at all. But John Legend definitely kind of has that style, that piano, that class, that very classy kind of piano. I don't know, kind of in the same vein, we kind of, I've heard him described as the male Alicia Keys, and you can put Sara Bareilles kind of in the same vein, a little bit R&B, a little bit pop, but definitely got her own distinct thing going, she's definitely got some, like, Regina Spektor in her, but definitely not as silly as Regina Spektor played straight, and again, her voice is fantastic. I really think this new record is really solid. Now, it's a little less poppy, there's more ballads on this record, which I'm honestly fine with, because her ballads have always been fantastic to me. Again, No Such Thing. Out of the park, 10 out of 10 song right there. And, I will say that, one thing I did notice is that the pianos are less prominent on this record. The only song I can really think of with, like, a stomping piano, with the exception of Armor, is Wicked Love. Those two songs have the kind of trademark piano on them. But, there are some other songs that have some great piano usage. You got the high pianos in No Such Thing, of course. I will mention that song any chance I get. You've got some other pianos blended into the mix in some of the other songs. If I Can't Have You, and Someone Who Loves Me, and some of the other songs, they have some nice pianos blended into the mix, and I really do enjoy that. But, I feel like there was a little bit missing in that regard. The production is still very solid, but I feel like maybe we could have used a few more prominent piano tracks and a few less ballads, although I do think the ballads that are here are really fantastic. Now, this is something which manages to be a bit of a change in direction and also keep her distinct sounds. It definitely sounds like her, it sounds like an album made by her, and in terms of where it fits into her overall discography, I wouldn't say it's as good as her first two albums, but overall, but still a really fantastic time, and definitely something you should check out, because, yeah, so out of the albums I've reviewed this year, this is probably the one I would give the most recommendation, this and the Billie Eilish record I reviewed last week. So, yeah, this song is called, the album is called Admist to Chaos. It's on Spotify, iTunes, wherever. I would give it a strong recommendation and a strong 8.5 out of 10. Really solid record. Nothing less than I was expecting from my queen, Sara Bareilles. So, yeah, without further ado, that will be the end of the review. If you like this video, click like, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below what your opinion on this album is and what I should review next. Thanks for watching!